We are joined in the media center by your top fuel winner and top fuel points leader, Tony Stewart. Tony, you're winning here in Chicago. I was just told that you've now completed the trifecta of winning at every track in Chicago as an owner.
As an owner.
And now as a top fuel winner here. Tony, this is your first two-wide top fuel win. Just walk us through your race day and what does this mean to sit here as the top fuel points leader?
You know, I said at Vegas that I was extremely impressed and happy with the progress. And by the time we got here, it was, you know, I knew on Friday with tricky track conditions, we were #1 qualifier after the first round. The second round, smoked the tires, we fell back to 6th. Was still excited about it. And then coming into Saturday, I knew Saturday and Sunday with the forecast. Thank you, Jack. Thanks for letting me have the opportunity to actually get home tonight, still not tomorrow. Congratulations. I was really worried about Saturday and Sunday when I knew we had cooler track conditions. I knew that was going to play into Brittany and Steve and Coletta's and Langdon's and Antron. I mean, they can throw down big numbers when the track conditions are right. And so I was genuinely concerned about that because our program hasn't been there yet. But we haven't really had an opportunity. So, you know, when it cooled off and we ran a 67 yesterday, got really excited because we had talked internally in our group with Neil and Mike and Ryan and the whole team about it's hard to prepare for the fall when we're really racing for a championship when you don't have conditions that are going to be like what we're going to have in the fall when it starts cooling off. We had that this weekend, and so to run that 67 and then first round today to run a 69, that is very encouraging for us because now we have some data that we can go back and look at when the track starts cooling off in the fall and you're really racing for the championship at the end of the season once the points reset. We're not starting from scratch. So I'm very encouraged by yesterday and today, this morning. But then this afternoon kind of fell back into our wheelhouse. You know, when you're in the 70s and mid and upper 70s, I feel like our car's really good in those conditions right now. So, you know, we kind of had a mixture of both conditions today. First round was very cool again, big numbers, you know, record runs for some people, and you know, then to see it warm up, that's a big swing. You know, we don't normally see that on a weekend. If it's hot, it's normally hot the whole weekend. If it's cool, it's normally cool the whole weekend. But this was a mixture of both. And you know, Friday was just chaos. Friday, you have to give the credit to the safety safari and the track crew. Just unbelievable job, above and beyond on track prep. The amount of times that they sprayed. I mean, we never see them spraying between funny car and top fuel on Friday, and that was something that was done this week. But you had to call an audible, and you know, Conley was the one doing track prep this week, and you know, Josh had prior obligations. He was out of town and couldn't do it. But I was impressed with Conley, and then sent him a text message and thanked him. You know, there were a lot of us that internally in the pit area were talking about, you know, the effort that was put forth, and Josh does a great job. Conley, it just shows that they got depth in the track prep. So we're very appreciative of what they did on Friday to give us, you know, the first round was a little bit tough, but it didn't stay that way all of Friday. Friday, late afternoon, the track was better, and they just kept working on it. And Saturday, and we saw record runs, you know, track records getting broken here, and that's because of the work that they put in. So that gave us all the opportunity to work on things that it's hard to explain to people that when the cars are faster, you think you're pushing on the edge and you think it's a smaller window. It's actually a bigger window, I feel like, with top fuel and funny car than it is when the track is slick. I feel like the hotter and slicker the track gets, the smaller the window gets of, you know, getting the car down the racetrack. So getting that opportunity to have a big day on Saturday and work on that for the fall, I think was big for our program. And then to start the day off this morning and run a 69 again made me super happy with where we're at. But the track heats up, we go out, we got a pedal in round 2. You know, Sean and I both had to pedal, and we were fortunate enough to beat him to the line. The hard part with that is you lose lane choice, so you sit there and go, man, now we're behind the 8 ball going into the semis with Steve, and Steve takes the right lane, we take the left lane. Steve smokes, unfortunately for him. and we get down a clean run, and it's like, wow, that actually felt pretty good. So, between semis and the finals, we're in the trailer with lane choice and talking about, do we want to go back to the right lane? And I'm sitting there, Lee and I are sitting on the couch behind the two crew chiefs, and I'm like pointing to the left, like, oh, at the left lane. So we kind of all agreed that that's kind of where we needed to be. We felt like we had such a good run there, and when we saw the data for the finals, as far as, Kurt Johnson does an amazing job for us on track data, and to get the numbers and sit there and go, man, they're so close to where we ran the semis, and we just ran in that lane, but Justin ran in that lane too. Let's take that lane, let's put him in the lane that he wasn't in for the semis and put him in the opposite lane, make him have to think about what does that lane want, and for us to be 500ths quicker than him. I felt like it put it in our hands, but at the same time, now you're running Justin Ashley. So Neil's got a car that's 500ths faster. He's got a driver that's 500ths slower than Justin Ashley. So it's kind of a wash. And, picking that lane, I felt like was the right decision for us to be in the left-hand lane. Everybody asked me, what did Kelly Antonelli tell me at the top end? And I swear to God, I got to get her a massage. I got to get her an appointment to get her a massage. I'm not giving her a massage this week. Neither is Guido, by the way, but we are going to get her a massage this week. I get so excited, and Matt headbutted her with his helmet on one day. I haven't quite done that, but I mean, I feel like I kind of beat her up a little bit on the top end when she told me what my reaction time was, because Justin's the best in the class. I mean, when he goes and busts an 18 off in round one, you sit there and go, oh my God, we're killed. It doesn't matter. The crew chiefs can't make that difference up for us. And, so when you go to line up for the finals, I mean, Lee and I talked about it, and the crew chiefs kind of both went out and they were working on something. They weren't in the crew chief lounge anymore. And I looked at Lee and I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. I want to know what you think after you hear this. And I told her, I said, yeah, we're going up against Justin, but as soon as you try to do something to try to equalize Justin, you put yourself in position to make a mistake. I said, I just need to do what I've been doing, be consistent, and just do what got us here. And she kind of had a long answer, so at the end of it, I was like, so what you're saying is just, yes, you agree. And that was the moral of the story. And then we get to the staging lanes, Matt Hagan's up there, and what an awesome teammate. I mean, he could be on the plane heading home, and comes up and he's like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. He goes, just be up and ready for him. And that was the mindset that Leah and I left the trailer with as well. So it was great to have two teammates with Leah and Matt that have been racing in NHRA for years and years and years, to have that backing as a driver, and to have that kind of support system to bounce ideas off of. And it was like, yes, three of us are thinking exactly the same thing. Just don't change the routine. Just do what you've been doing, but be ready. And Justin has the ability to bring out the best in everybody that he races. They know when they race against him that they've got to bring their best. They bring the A game when they line up against him. And it's a curse for Justin as well, because he's so good that you know that you have to rise to the occasion. The hard part is doing that. But when you do it, then the hard part after that is, now how do you do it all the time like he does? And that's the part that as a new driver, I mean, I'm not in my rookie season anymore, I'm in my second year, but you're still trying to figure out, how do I repeat that? And how do I bottle that and bring that out every time that I go up to the line? He does it every round of qualifying too. I mean, we all get the sheets after Q4 on Saturday, and you look at these times and you're like, my God, I don't have that in my playbook. And so you try to figure out, how do you create that? And so I think that's what makes the win here today that much more special, was when you line up against Justin Ashley. You've got Justin as a driver, you got Mike Green as a tuner, you got Davis as a car owner, you got Skag as a sponsor. I mean, it's just a great team, a great program, a great partner for the team. It's just a great package. And you go up and line up against him, and if you can beat him, that is such a feather in your cap. It's not a normal win. It's not an ordinary win. You have beat one of the best in the business. You've beat one of the best teams in the business, one of the best sponsors in the business. You just respect that whole program. And, we're all sitting there hanging around. I know NHRA wants all of us to have rivalries and drama and BS that NASCAR and all that bullshit that they deal with over there. They can kiss our ass. They can take take that and stuff it up their ass for all I care. It's great. It's great for them. It's not great for us. We're driving 300-mile-an-hour cars, and it's okay for us to respect and like each other and have to compete against each other at this level. I like that part of it. I like where I'm at. I like the atmosphere that NHRA provides. I'm very happy about my decision to be where I'm at. So when you go up against Davis's team and you go up against Skag and Randy and his program and you race against Justin Ashley, and I guarantee you I can go in my cell phone right now and there's a text message from Justin Ashley and Mike Ashley congratulating us, and probably Randy as well, and Davis. It's the camaraderie in the sport that I think is underestimated. As much as NHRA wants the drama because they think they got to be like NASCAR, they don't have to be like NASCAR. They have something that nobody has. They have an atmosphere here that is family friendly, that is fan friendly, that is competitor friendly, and that we all like each other. I was with Steve Torrance and Natalie in their motorhome till 10:30 last night. We're camping together, and that's the stuff that I like about our sport. And so when you line up against them, you want to beat them. You know, we joke around saying, yeah, you want to put your foot on their throat, you know, and make their face turn blue. But that's competitors, and that only lasts for 3.5 seconds. But when you get to the top end, whoever loses, you congratulate each other. And it doesn't have to be cutthroat all the time. It's respect, and that's what NHRA has. Is these teams, these drivers, they all respect each other, and that's what I really love about the sport. It makes wins like today mean that much more because of that. That's an element they don't have in NASCAR. Those other drivers aren't going up there after a win going, man, hey, congrats. They're mad because they lost to somebody. And that's what you have to be over there, but it doesn't have to be like that over here. And that's what I really love about NHRA right now.
Bobby?
What did I say? What am I going to say that I didn't just say right now out of curiosity?
You fell three minutes short of the Cruz Pedregon filibuster. Tony, you're an icon in every motorsport practice that you've come into. When are you finally going to give yourself credit that you're a good drag racer?
This is a sport that the drivers aren't the ones that make the difference. It is not. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, the crew chief here is the driver everywhere else. And every other form of motorsports, the crew chief is what the drivers are everywhere else. That's just a fact. My job is leave on time. Matt Hagan said it best. I got 2 years ago when I ran the alcohol car at Indy. I was second in points to Julie. I remember we smoked the tires the first 2 or 3 rounds of qualifying. That's all right, Ashley. Don't worry. We're working over here. You do what you need to do over there. We'll bring that up in your performance review at the end of the year. But I remember Matt Hagan going, you just got to simplify it. He goes, your job is to leave on time, keep it in the groove, and try to turn on that wind light. And it's that simple for the drivers. That is our responsibility driving these cars. I was 70% of the equation in sprint cars, in NASCAR, in sports cars, in IndyCar, in every car I've ever driven. You come to NHRA, it is literally like being on its own island, and now the crew chief is at 70% of the equation. I'm 30% of it. My job consisted of going up against the best lever in the class today. I was 5th in average last year, which I was proud of as a rookie. And my goal this year is how do I go from 5th to 4th or 3rd? And it's hard. I mean, I'm going up against Justin Ashley, Sean Langdon, Antron Brown, and Doug Coletta. Those are the 4 guys that beat me last year consistently. That is a tough group to beat. Got the utmost respect for those guys and everybody that's behind us too. We got an 8-time world champion behind us with Tony Schumacher. There's no slouches in this deal. But to sit there and be in the top 5, I was extremely proud of that. But I'm also a guy that doesn't go, well, that's good enough. And you can't be. Not going up against Justin, not going up when you race Antron or any of these other guys. And Sean, like we raced yesterday. Sean gave me a lesson this week. I mean, I made a big mistake on Friday, and he picked up on it immediately. Sean Langdon is probably the best student of drag racing that you're going to find in NHRA. And he has spent a lot of time with me that I'm very appreciative. Sean has spent a lot of time talking to me about the ins and outs about this sport. But Sean did exactly, I laughed yesterday. It was so funny. I lost the mission race to him, and I laughed about it because I made a mistake when we both ran first round of qualifying because we're 1 and 2 in the points. We lined up together, and he flickered the bulb like is exactly what he's supposed to do as a driver. He flickered the bulb, and it screwed me up so bad because the bulb went out, and I didn't realize it activated the tree. And that's just a rookie mistake. You know, I learned from it. He did it again in the mission finals yesterday. And when he did it, I laughed because I'm like, I knew when I got in the car that he was going to do that. It's not like I was oblivious to what he was going to do. I knew the play he was going to make, and he did it exactly the way he was supposed to. Now, I didn't cut a 40, but I didn't cut a 209 that I did in round 1. I think I cut a 90 light in it. So I made an adjustment. I made it better. I still have to work to make it better yet, and Sean still knows that. But those are the things that veterans like Sean Langdon and Antron and Doug and Justin, that's the tricks that they know in this business. Those are tricks that I have to learn. But that's the fun part of this. That's the fun part of being the underdog and being the guy that is still learning his way over here, is learning all these little tricks. But when you learn from the best, and if you want to beat the best, you got to learn the same tricks they know. So I made a mistake and just had an off day on Friday, and Sean got him, and he used it yesterday. The bad thing for him is that he didn't realize that I knew he knew that trick. So I'll learn, I'll figure it out. It just takes time to do it. So Sean did exactly what he was supposed to do as a driver yesterday, and that's what made yesterday fun. Even though you get beat, and we smoked the tires anyway, but it still makes it fun because I appreciate the craft, the art of it, the art of being good as a driver in this sport versus everything else that I've had to learn. It's just an extension of it, but it's so different. And every time I've ever went to a new form of racing, everybody goes, he's not going to figure it out. Like hell, I'll figure it out, bud. Don't count against me on that. Don't put your chips on the other side of the table, because I promise you I'll figure this out eventually. And here we are today. We won 2 races, and we might stumble the rest of the season. And I may look foolish for what I'm saying, but we got this trophy standing here, and we won 2 of them this year out of 6 races. So I'm extremely proud of our team, extremely proud of where we were as bad as we were last year. And Bradenton was like suicidal. We all left there, and we were all looking for jobs. We're like, we got to do something. We got to knit. We got to weave Indian blankets, or we got to do origami or something different than what we're doing, because we suck as drag racers. And to come from Bradenton and go to Gainesville and have the test week that we had and the race week, all of a sudden we got a car that's consistent and going down the racetrack. And now we knew we had a car that was good in the heat. Now we got a car that's showing some promise when the conditions are cooler. I'm extremely encouraged about the rest of the season, and it's no guarantee that it's going to stay this way, but to be 6 races into the season and leading the points, we got a lot to be proud of.
So I got 2 for you. The first one, when you've won in the past, we've seen you get out of the car and you're pumping your fist and you're acting all cold and excited. These wins I've seen for you in the last 2 events that you've won, we've seen a lot of emotion out of you that I haven't seen since you won the Brickyard twice. What is it about these wins that get you so emotional? What is so important about them to you?
I make a big mistake of reading social media, which I think we all make very vital, critical mistakes by reading the keyboard warriors that are dumbasses that sit in their mother's basements and don't do a damn thing and haven't accomplished anything in their life, and tell you how bad you are at what you do. But they can't tell you to their face. I've never stood at the ropes and anybody come up there and go, you really are bad at this, and you should put your wife in the car. But I read it on the internet that, why is he driving the car? His wife's way better. She almost won a world championship. Well, now they can kiss my ass. They literally can kiss my ass, and I'll sit there and stick it out for them too. Because they don't do a damn thing. They've never accomplished anything in their life. They don't know how to work hard to be successful in anything. That's why they say the shit they say on the internet. And to sit there and have to fight and prove these people wrong, that's the pride I take now. That's the pride I'm leaving here with tonight. I'm going on vacation with Buddy Hall and his family. We're going and having a great week this week. I'm going to celebrate this, because this is for all those people that say that I suck, I'm no good, I'm terrible, I've never been anything. This is for all those people. They don't have anything to show for it. I got 2 silver wallies this year to show for it. we've proven these guys wrong. So they can say what they want to say now. Now they just look stupid when they say it. That's the pride I take in what we have, what we've done today, and what we're accomplishing.
Tony, keep us how you really feel.
I have trouble. I have trouble opening up and being honest and, letting my emotions go. But, I took a lot of crap when Leah decided to make the change to get out of the car. I had shoulder surgery at the same time, and so I couldn't do anything for literally 6 weeks. And I sat there and spent way too much time reading stupid people's comments. And I let it get the best of me for a while, but at the same time, it was my motivation. These idiots don't realize the more they talk shit about me, the more they motivate me to be better. It's like, that's my best motivation. So I encourage them, keep doing it. Keep coming at me. The more you come at me, the more I'm going to prove you wrong. The more you're going to make me work harder to prove you wrong. So they're my best teammates.
And then the second question I have for you, next week you're going to be out in Indianapolis covering the 500 with Fox. When you sit there at that desk on the race morning, is that Silver Wallet going to be sitting on the desk right next to you?
It is not.
Oh, come on.
It doesn't need to be there. I mean, that's the fun part about me and my career and my legacy in motorsports is that I've had my feet in every pool, it seems like, in some capacity. But it's not about what we're doing here this weekend. Next weekend's about the Indianapolis 500. It's about the people. This year, I mean, all of us have sat there and watched the last couple of days of what these drivers have went through and are going through. It's probably one of the toughest years I've seen at Indy for drivers driving these race cars. It's going to be a blast to work with Fox again. I've had such a great relationship with them, have done the NASCAR events with them. I'm still a NASCAR fan. Contrary to everybody's popular belief, I am still a NASCAR fan. But it's going to be an honor to be there and support the Indy 500 and Roger Penske and what he's done with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and what IndyCar's doing. I've got great friends over there. I got Marco Andretti, Connor Daly, James Hinchcliffe that I'm getting to work with. This is going to be a lot of fun next week for me. But yeah, obviously I'm sure NHRA will come up in conversations at some point during the broadcast, but at the same time it's, you have to kind of separate, and for me, having the opportunity to be a part of the broadcast team and do the pre-race show and post-race show with them, I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun to be back at Indianapolis and be a part of it with them. But as much as I'd love to sit there and have that trophy sitting on there when we're talking, I don't think it's appropriate and the right thing to do. But, they're going to know we won a race this week.
Tony, you and I spoke about, if you could turn the clock back, take all the way back from when you first started racing, when would you jump to the NHRA?
I don't think I'd have changed anything, honestly. I mean, to look back at what we've done, and I don't think I really thought about it until I had shoulder surgery a couple of years ago. I couldn't really do anything, so I was down for, the recovery was 3 months, and I sat there and thought, we've had surgeries before, and race car drivers are no different athletes than anybody else. They do it in half the time or less. But everybody goes, shoulder surgeries, there is no half the time. It's 3 months. And I spent a lot of time on the internet, and it's the first time I think in my life, in my professional career, that I've had the opportunity to just kind of hit pause and look back at what we've done in the past. I don't think I would have changed anything. I mean, I loved my time in the IRL. I loved my time in USAC. I loved my time with the All-Stars, the World of Outlaws, NASCAR, having the opportunity to race the 24 Hours of Daytona with the Crawford family. Just working with great people and getting to drive all these different race cars, and now getting the opportunity to come to NHRA at this part of my life and career. I don't know that I would have changed it. I don't know that I would have came here earlier, because I think that's what you're leading to. Would I have came here earlier? I don't think I would have, honestly. I've had a unique opportunity that not every driver has. Not everybody in this era, everybody's so specialized in their form, whether it's they go the open wheel route and go IndyCar racing, or they go stock car racing, or the guys that dirt track race, they don't necessarily want to go to NASCAR anymore. They just want to stay dirt track racing, and I'm appreciative of that. I mean, they're the best at what they do. It's been an honor to be a part of all these different forms of motorsports, and to be able to go I've told everybody, every form of motorsports until I got to NHRA was kind of under this giant bubble. You know, NASCAR was kind of off to one side, dirt track racing another side, IndyCar, sports car. They were all in the bubble, and there was relevancy to all of those cars, but massive differences at the same time. When you come to NHRA, it is like Fantasy Island on its own over here, and every Friday I keep expecting Tattoo to walk through in a white tuxedo going, we're at the races on Friday. It is drastically different, but that is also what I've embraced about this too, is it is a unique and different challenge that I didn't think at this part of my life that I would have an opportunity or had a desire to try. But when I met Leah, I mean, that opened this opportunity up, and because of her passion and because of Matt's passion, Dodge's passion, I wanted to learn more. I went to Frank Hawley's driving school. The only reason I did that was because I sat in the crew chief lounge and listened to Leah debrief with the crew chiefs, with Todd Okahara and Neil Straussbaugh about the run, and I'm like, I think I know what that should feel like, but you don't know because you've never done it. So the curiosity kills the cat. You know, call Frank and they go, hey, I want to come down and try this. And he goes, okay, we'll bring a super comp car, we'll bring a top alcohol car to drive. And so you go through his deal, and then it's like setting a hook. And I'm stupid. I'm genuinely 100% certifiably stupid, because all you got to do is get me there one time, and I'm like, I got to try this. I've always tried everything. So you get me there, you get me in there, you get the hook set, and then next thing you know, I'm going to Vegas. I'm driving Leah's car at a test session. Don Schumacher says, oh, you'll be fine. Leah says, oh, you'll be fine. Dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I was not ready to drive a 300-mile-an-hour dragster because my brain was not conditioned and ready to drive a 300-mile-an-hour dragster. That just fueled the fire. So now we go down the road. We're married. We've got a son. I'm driving the car, and we've won 2 races now. It's like, how does it get better than this?
You used to play quarterback for the Colts.
I'm too slow, too small, and I don't like getting my ass kicked. So I don't need to. I don't even want to carry the footballs onto the field for the Colts right now, but I got a ton of respect for them. I love the Colts. Wish them the best every year. I mean, they're our hometown team. So, yeah, I don't need to be doing anything but driving race cars. I know that seems to be like LA traffic. It seems to be 6 to 8 cars.
Tony, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Did I talk more than Jack